What's going on, everyone? It's Alex. Welcome back to the channel. I have a quicker video here for you today, but one that will have major implications on the MCU as a whole. There's been some recent rumors or leaks, whatever you would like to call them, that's been slowly coming out, and the most recent ones are for Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars, and how a few things may play out in the future moving forward. You know the gist though. If you like Marvel, the MCU, comics, and everything in between, subscribe. But other than that, let's get into the video. Let's go. So if you've seen my last video, you'll know that the anonymous leaker Tales on the Mod Q posted a whole lot of information, and at the very end included some information about how Secret Wars may be adapted and what the studio has planned for it. So number one, almost all of the movies after Kang Dynasty will be filmed set within Battleworld. Now this is something that I've been theorizing a lot, and of course a lot of other people have, and essentially what will happen is the incursions, multiversal war, and the attempt to stop Kang will create the destruction of the multiverse, and in turn create Battleworld in short. Now I've covered Battleworld on the channel before. It's essentially just these saved fragments of reality that were patched together to save all of life. In the comics, Battleworld lasted for 8 years, so it's an easy way for movies to be placed in this era. Now this brings me on to the second piece of news, which is that Doctor Strange 3 is fast-tracking to come out before Secret Wars. I'm glad that they aren't waiting these 6 years again like they did with Multiverse of Madness, but this is another no-brainer that will heavily influence the whole Secret Wars storyline. We left off in Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange joining Clea, and she warned him about the incursions he had started before venturing off into the Dark Dimension. I truthfully have no idea what Doctor Strange 3's focal point would be for the plot, and I'm not sure even Marvel Studios knows right now, but it's for sure a major player moving the story forward. Moving on though, although there isn't much to elaborate here, there are very early talks happening about Secret Wars dividing into 2 parts. Now this would be similar to Infinity War and Endgame, because if you remember, Infinity War was initially revealed as Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, so there was no title discrepancy, which of course changed over time, so I expect the same thing to happen here with Secret Wars if they do 2 parts. It's also being reported now that the Fantastic Four will start filming in early 2024, and that would only give it about a year of production in total before it releases in, I think it was February of 2025, so I do think that Fantastic Four may be moved to May. Secret Wars could then move to either July or even into the fall, and then if they did do a part 2, it would be the following year, roughly around May. And this leads me into the fourth and big piece of news, and that is that Phase 7 is being discussed to be added to this saga. The Infinity Saga was of course phases 1 through 3, and then the current Multiverse Saga was supposed to be another 3-part phase ending with Secret Wars in Phase 6. But if the movie is split into 2 parts, it's possible that there will be projects between those two, because as it stands right now, Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty and Avengers 6 Secret Wars are 1 year apart. Now I'm not complaining, but I would find it hard to believe they would do another Avengers movie the following year, but I suppose it is possible, it just depends on everyone's schedule. Without a doubt though, we're looking at another 3-hour movie minimum, and I can't wait. Phase 7 could also include the aftermath of Secret Wars and how that leads into mutants and X-Men, so there's so many ways they can go from here. One thing I should also mention though is that the Beyonder is expected to appear in Secret Wars, which as you guessed it will be some sort of Kang variant. It's unknown exactly how this will take place, but if we take a look at He Who Remains and what they've already done with Kang, it's a pretty easy assumption. The overall effects from this though do theoretically change the MCU forever, and while that's such a cliche line that people use, Secret Wars is the event that does this. I just didn't think that they would use Battleworld for multiple other movies and shows, let alone an entire phase. It will give the MCU a brand new setting and place to fully explore for a year or 2 more or less, but if the full Phase 7 rumors are true, then it's possible that Battleworld actually takes place for an entire phase, like I just mentioned. So I could see them doing Secret Wars Part 2, but of course instead of it just being Part 2, they could label it Battleworld, something like that. I'm going to do a big Secret Wars video when the time is right, but I do think Kang Dynasty will be all about the new Avengers team, while Secret Wars will include a lot more legacy characters like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who is rumored to have signed a 2-picture deal. We already know that he's coming back for Deadpool 3, so it's no reason to assume he wouldn't show up in something like Secret Wars. I also think that Secret Wars will provide the MCU with a way to soft reboot in its entirety. By getting rid of the multiverse and narrowing down to a singular 616 universe, this would include everything, the Avengers, X-Men, Inhumans, and more. No more confusion and no more debate about what is canon and what isn't. This could even pave the way for them to cast a new Steve Rogers, a Black Widow, a new Iron Man, and more, since everything would be in one universe with the collapsing and combination of the multiverse. So let me know what you think about all this Secret Wars and the Multiverse Saga news. Should they split Secret Wars into a 2-part movie or not? Comment below. Follow me on Twitter @AnotherMarvelG and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Other than that, I just want to say thank you. I'm another Marvel guy, and I'll catch y'all in a blip.